Hi, my name is Martin King. I'm one of the senior fluid systems designers here at Legacy Chillers. Today I'm fielding a question from Bill in Tampa, Florida. Bill, how's it going? I'm going to answer some questions for you about our controls. I've had a lot of questions about this in the last few weeks. A lot of people seem to want to know what's the difference between Legacy's controls versus everybody else out there. So this short video is going to cover that, and as always at the very end of our presentation here, you will also get some links and some venues on how you could submit your questions so we can cover them in our Smart Drop series. Thanks again for your interest in Legacy Chillers, and we're really looking forward to working with you. All right, this Smart Drop video is going to be covering our control architecture. Legacy Chillers uses a very unique control architecture, I think, that will show a lot of advantages if you're whether you're new to chillers or you're just doing your basic research. All right, so the first thing I want to point out is the differences in architecture versus what's out there on the market. This is one of our major competitors, printed CPC Board. And I want to point out a few things on here. The transformer, the power supply, all these yellow squares here are individual relays. These relays will turn on compressors, pumps, fan motors, and things like that. All of these components on here, the inputs, the outputs, they're all hard soldered onto this printed board here, all right? The downside to that is at any time if you have a failure of any one of these components in here, your only option is to replace this entire board. This particular board probably runs about $1,200, and I'm going to point out some advantages of the way we do it, all right? So this is how it works. This is our major components. We have our HMI. We'll cover these in a little more detail in a minute. This is our control stack. This is one of our control stacks installed in a chiller, and I will point out those components. But these three things here really provide a modular approach compared to what the PC boards do in our competitors' gear. All right, so the first thing is the HMI. That's the touchscreen. This is ultra bright. It has a built-in web server, so if you want to control or monitor the operation of your chiller, you can do that anywhere within your network, and it's very, very simple to set up. This also logs data. It has a built-in data logger, so at any time we ship all of our chillers with an SD card. You can download the SD card into a CSV format, and it's very helpful if you happen to have some type of intermittent maintenance issue. It's very helpful to help you figure out what happened. We do free software updates. Very cool. You can download the latest features from our website for free, and you can update both the HMI and the PLC directly from the touchscreen. It's very, very helpful. We're always adding new features, and it's just a great way to get the latest things you need. You can remotely monitor this chiller, as I mentioned earlier, through a web browser because of the built-in web server. Very cool. This is our control stack. So unlike the printed circuit board, these are a modular design here. So if you have your PLC, this is all the I/O, very expandable. It has Modbus. It's set up as a Modbus slave as shipped. So if you have a Modbus master on your network, you can communicate with it, get data from it. We publish all of the Modbus data points through a download. You can see the table. Very helpful. We do offer BACnet integration. You'll have to purchase an optional BACnet to Modbus gateway. We have many customers who are communicating via BACnet these days. It has a built-in SMTP server. I'm going to talk about that in a minute when we get into predictive maintenance. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. A lot of expansion capability on the I/O. So if you have a special project, we do a lot of OEM work nowadays. So if you have a situation where you have to have a very high level of control on your chiller and the volume is there, we can definitely expand and provide you all the options that you need with this control architecture. So we looked at the control stack earlier. We're going to kind of zone in on this a little bit. Now, you remember we talked about the printed circuit board, those relays. If you were to have a short, for example, on a compressor contactor, pump contactor, and it were to take out the relay on a printed circuit board, you have to replace the entire the entire board. The way we do it here is you pop open these the little latch here. This white thing is actually the relay, so you can replace it for about $20, and a lot of our clients will actually just stock a relay, although we have very, very few failures, but it's very, very cost effective to keep the spare parts you need. This leads to lower maintenance costs, a lot less downtime, and overall, over the life cycle of the machine, more reliability. Okay, so we're going to also talk about email alerts. So this is a feature that we added back in 2016. So if you're connected to the internet, if you connect your chiller to the internet, we have you'll have to do some configuration of your firewall. Of course, usually it's a port forwarding event. Our data will be streamed from the PLC directly to our colo here. It's a secure colo, and you can program in where you want email alerts to go, how often you want them to go. Do you just want to give an update how the chiller is operating? So if you have sites that are remote and you want to know immediately if there's an issue with the chiller, you have the ability to do that. This has become a very popular feature. So predictive maintenance. This is something that we've started doing, and again, this is just an evolution. We offer it as part of our software updates. This is one of our little package condensers. This is just one example of vibration sensors. And the way this works is we have software, our PLC is looking for variances in critical operation of a chiller. Vibration is a very, very popular way to measure, mechanically how a machine is doing. So we have logic on here that's saying, hey, if I've got an over amount of vibration on my fans, or I've got a problem with my condenser airflow, that kind of thing, it's going to actually detect potential mechanical problems, and it's going to do some analysis on it, and then it's also going to send out an alert and say, hey, condenser fan motor number 2 is showing an abnormal high amount of vibration. You might want to take a look at that. So this gives you the ability to predict when there's a problem and get a chance to fix it before it actually turns into a failure. Okay, this can actually, over the life cycle of a machine, reduce your maintenance costs up to 30%. All right, well, that's your Smart Drop educational video for today. Thanks again for stopping in and hanging out with us for a little bit. If you have any questions that we can answer for you, please don't forget to submit to our LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter feeds. You can also go to our website and submit questions to us there. We're looking forward to working with you. And if you happen to have any process chiller needs, we're here to guide you through the process to a successful project. Thanks again. My name is Martin King. I'm with Legacy Chillers, and I'm happy to meet you.